Hi, Assalamualaikum. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying with us. And for those of you who have just joining us, welcome to the Virtual Agro-Technology Extension Program 2021. We will also like to welcome both of our Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Food Industry who's currently online together with us, Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri Haji Ahmad bin Hamzah and Yang Berhormat Dr. Nik Muhammad Zawawi bin Haji Saleh. Thank you, Datuk. Now, without further ado, we will continue our session. I would like to invite our moderator for today, Mr. R.M. Ravichandra, CEO of ABS Green Tech Syndrome Berhad, Malaysia. Before I hand over to Mr. Ravi, please allow me to share briefly about him. Mr. Ravi has involved in many successful projects in Malaysia, such as in NKEA, National Key Result Area, and many more. He involved in many NGOs, program, and also social projects. So now, please welcome Mr. Ravi.
Hi, thank you, Nadia. And
Mr. Ravi, it's yours?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me, Nadia?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Salam keluarga Malaysia dari Jabatan Pertanian Malaysia. And thank you to both the Deputy Ministers who are with us for this online session. I believe this is the first time ever under this virtual. We are doing this Agro-Technology Extension Program 2021. And I will be your moderator for today. Let's go and zoom in into, I just want to say thank you to all the viewers who are here. And also those who are viewing through TV Pertanian melalui YouTube. Kita mengalu-alukan. We welcome all of you to be with us until this evening. It is the wave of change. Let's look at what's happening in Malaysia. Maybe I would like to just share two screens in order for us to anchor the presentation today. Yes. So, if you look at National Agro Policy 2.0, the objective is to improve the productivity, increase the farmers' revenue, ensure sustainability agriculture, improve food security and food safety, especially the last one is improve the trade balance. Ladies and gentlemen, this program, especially bringing the international speakers, is to address some of the most crucial challenges faced by Malaysia, especially the growers. So here I would like to just quickly tell about ABS, what we are doing. And we would like to we are working very closely with Department of Agriculture. Thanks to also Ministry of Agriculture for supporting this event. And I believe our Yang Berhormat Minister has shared very well. Previous screen, Joanne. Can we just go to the previous screen quickly? Yes. We are here to assist the Malaysian growers in advisory and regulatory. Today, you're going to see number 2, the proven technology worldwide. Malaysia has beautiful financial resources from Development Bank. We have market access, and don't worry, TVET is coming up. Agriculture TVET training is coming up. And here we are also having IPM training, integrated pest management training. And we are embarking on public-private partnership model with government agencies, ministries. And also, we also would like to invite the growers who are here, viewers, to Cameron Island to look into experiencing the IPM farm. Next slide, please. In conclusion, our future in Malaysia will be really successful with the formation in the future of Center of Excellence for Agriculture Technology under the public-private partnership model in collaboration with government agencies like Department of Agriculture, GLCs, higher learning institution, and agri-tech-based companies. With that, let's move on. Together we are strong. And I would like to introduce the first speaker for today. Thank you so much for this wonderful speaker whom I'm going to introduce. He is from Priva, Horticulture. He is the lead for Priva East Asia. The next speaker will be Mr. Manuel. Madani is based in Southeast Asia. Very important is based on the track record of this company. Priva is a global expert. If you look at it, global expert of food solution and supplies. And they supply 70% of the global indoor growing globally with the facilities and greenhouses and advanced technology, water and energy solution. Ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia is here to benefit from Priva. And Priva is already officially in Malaysia. Slowly you'll be seeing the technology being transferred into the growers. Ladies and gentlemen, put your heart and soul and welcome the first speaker for today, Mr. Manuel Madani. Mr. Manuel, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you so much, Ravi. I really appreciate the kind words.
The floor is yours. Malaysians are waiting for you. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone that's been involved in this organization. Thank you, His Excellency Ronald Kiandi and everyone else of the team here today. Thank you all growers, friends, industry speakers. I think today is a very special occasion where we touch base virtually, though we could have meet each other face to face. Hopefully for the future, we can do that more often. So for my presentation today, I'd like to take you with me for about 25 minutes, and I hope your attention span goes with me to that point. I'll be sharing quickly my screen. So before I get started, I want to touch base with. I want to touch base to thank for generations and generations how we have obtained our food, and it has particularly to do with farmland's majority, the smallholders, and the smallholders have been giving knowledge and experiences from generations to generations. And for us today, when we look ahead of us, it's very important how we can scale that knowledge to the future purpose and how we can get everybody the growing recipes, the insights, everything that matters so much and that has made our food chain sustainable until today, but in the future, it requires a different approach. And I'm here also to share today that Malaysia has equal tools than any other country, which is competitive and not competitive, to have access to very competitive tools to compete on a global stage with very high technology that is available and also affordable. So I'm really excited to take you with me here today. Before we move forward, let's quickly reassess why we are doing this today. So, as you've probably known, and growers are knowing this because also generations ahead are short in numbers. What do we do? What does that mean for the future? Do we need technology or do we still need growers? What happens to the growing world population and the access of food to cities? Will there be a future disruption? I don't want to be necessarily a doomsday person that say everything will go wrong. I'm saying we are a smart, intelligent race. We can resolve global issues and also these issues. So particularly in this session, let's talk and dive into the resolvement of lack of skilled staff in particular. When things are moving that fast forward and climate change is changing our outlook for growing and losing 50% of our harvest time after time, it'll become challenging to bring food into cities. The thing that we need to bear in mind, and what this presentation is about, is to bring food closer to cities and in cities, cooperating with nature instead of pushing it away time after time. So the smallholders have been giving us food for centuries. Now that revolution needs to be scaled into millions of brains and gut health, and people need to make decisions to grow their own food. We see within Priva globally that this is within cities, green belts, not from different areas or different countries, but food is growing in the future locally, and greenhouses also are being on cities belts to provide food in short access. How does the future look like? And the future has already started, but 2030 is getting closer. Um, the major cities that require food access and are most populous are here today with us in Southeast Asia, India, and China. So we have challenges ahead, and we have a very, very interesting climate to grow food in under tropical conditions. Um, we've also known that many companies have been promising a sustainable food chain and a healthy food chain. And you see it today, most companies advocate on SDGs, on CSR, and doing good. But how far is that promised land, that promise in fulfillment? Will that be in our future ahead of us? Or should we take responsibility in our own hand? We cannot wait and see. The time is unfortunately up. So we need to act as an industry, not as a particular company or a grower, but as an industry together. And it's our common responsibility that our future children have access to food in cities and cities green belt. Because as you can see in the news today, it's been flooding, and it's been flooding a lot, not in Asia, but all across the world. And we see global disruptions everywhere, and we see harvests are being lost. So we should never have that legacy that have given us food for centuries be lost. We should really act upon it and venture, even when things are unsure in the future, we need to venture it together. And the solution is by adapting to change. And that change, you know, is very uncomfortable to many, but also comfortable to a few. The change is the unknown. It's the past that is ahead of us. What it will do is a little bit unsure, and it's scary, and it's outside of the comfort zone. But change with technology as Moore's law, which predicts that technology will be more accessible in the future when it gets more into time, it will be more applied. When that law accelerates, you'll get very, very fascinating discoveries. Even my colleagues at Priva, they are so excited of what's ahead of us, enabled by technology. And we'll be climbing a summit together. We'll be doing great things in the next decade to resolve all those issues. So embrace change and really think on on disruptive innovation. Really elevate. Incremental elevation has led us doing small baby steps, but nature will outpace us very fast with climate change and our challenges. So we should keep up into these challenges. So what we are doing today, and everybody knows what a greenhouse is, but what we are doing today in Malaysia and also in other countries in Southeast Asia is super interesting, because remotely from every area in Malaysia, you have the controls to control up to 20 greenhouses by a simple open platform. The gateway connects it to the open platform, and it gives you all the instructions. Once the control is installed and integrated, all the instructions, what to do, and modifying every settings. And even ahead of us, we have plantonomy. And plantonomy is the autonomous growing service as a software. So you don't need to purchase another hardware, as a software without any staff calculating the next steps and making those steps for you in the greenhouse. So this technology can make everyone that's new in the industry grow food in the indoor facility or in the greenhouse anywhere and at any time, believe it or not. So what it is controlling is very interesting, because if you look at the horizontal line, you see that climate is a very interesting problem we should resolve. But one of the other very interesting aspects is energy. And energy determines whether your crop is becoming profitable or not, because it's a huge chunk of the cost, and we really need to think what sources are around us that create renewable and sustainable energy. So when all these settings are controlled by a simple computer that's connected to a gateway, you'll be able to access a lot of growing facilities and modify settings. And this unlocks so many possibilities of scale, and people can access and onboard to be a grower or a so-called operator. Modifying settings, become a tech-based grower is just super exciting, and unlocks the possibilities for the future that are just amazing. So around us, and you've seen undoubtedly many people advocate on data-driven growing. And data-driven growing is a very essential part that we have launched last year. And data-driven growing says this, that we are actually putting sensors, things in place to collect all those data and move to a controlled environment. So it's called CEA, Controlled Environment Agriculture, which is becoming vital to growing a profitable crop, because everything around us is changing, and it's changing fast. Stage 2 is already this year's crop-based growing, which the technology evolves all around the crop. Stage 3 is in 2023, where we have simulation growing, so we can actually use the data from stage 1 and stage 2 to enable stage 3. And our end destination is the most exciting part, which resolves a lot of things, but we think it's feasible in the next 10 years, which is grid-based growing. Grow a crop anywhere, anytime, at any place to create that specific climate and that specific solution enabled by technology. Stage 1 is actually a very interesting part, and I'm sure you've seen it, and a lot of people are doing it at the moment. What it actually does, it connects all the data that you have connected to the control in your greenhouse to the cloud. And the cloud is doing all the calculation and work for you, sends insights, and when that insights has been given, control can be better done and better controlled. We have enabled services, and services is nothing new. It's software as a service, which gives growers insights and updates and experience on how to grow a crop by CEA. And CEA means, like, for example, you have operator. Operator allows you to modify every setting in your greenhouse. And that was normally done on site by a grower and requires a lot of kilometers to travel. And so all these things are becoming resolvable. With strategic partners in the seed industry, in the fertilizer industry, the data industry, we'll be able to collect and do more through the cloud and have more control to growth at any place. What's also very interesting is that the seed companies are doing a fantastic job at the moment. They're developing growing recipes, and as that continues, plant breeding will be more data-driven, and data-driven will be can be onboarded into our system, and our system actually calculates the growing recipe, gives the full insight to the customer, and the customer can grow that identical crop that the seed company has developed for over 12 years. And that's all enabled by a good and qualified control system. Not only for the seed companies as growing recipe, but also lighting, LED lighting, photosynthesis, data, and the growing recipe together can be combined. And when this is combined, you'll also get more control of your greenhouse for what you're doing with the right light recipes and growth data to have a profitable crop. so that you can already see that centuries of experience that was enabled by many farmers is becoming digitized, and we also send feedback as crop performance to the seed companies. Data becomes the fuel, and data will be very key to act as a very vital step to simulation-based growing. And here's a simple example. You see a few leading seed companies that are also in Malaysia today with a fertilizer company to calculate the irrigation recipe. How it works is very simple. It sends all its data to the cloud that we have enabled. It sends it to the control. The control sends a message to the greenhouse. The greenhouse control room gives the actual irrigation as per instruction. It sends its drain water bank and reuses that drain water to be recirculated. So it's often greenhouses at high-tech level save up to 95% of water, and then it sends it back to the cloud, and the growing recipe is optimized. So the gut health, the grower that we have relied on for very long time is becoming now, I would not say replaceable, but complementary and enabling much more to be controlled and to do more from a remote area or from a city or from anywhere. So that was stage 2. If we look to stage 3, we are really, and this is all happening this century, of this decade, it's data-driven growing, because stage 3 cannot be enabled if we don't go through together to stage 1, which is collecting all that data. And stage 3 says basically this: we collect that data, we put it in the control, and it does things as we have collected it. We have also in stage 3 where we allow third parties access to the data to add more data, and the control does that work for you, because it becomes a really data-driven aspect. And eventually machine learning will catch up on us. Machine learning will assess that data, will calculate it better than we do, and comes out with a better simulated base growing. It says this: you have here the irrigation, the energy room, the greenhouse, and aside from the greenhouse, it sends it to the cloud. It connects or calculates the best possible result. It sends it back, and this is all enabled by 2023. And it's the same tool that anyone else, whether you're using the United States, in the Netherlands, or in the Middle East, this is technology that is available everywhere. And when we go further, it's very interesting, because we know energy is very important, and we know water is very important. So the future to have a very profitable crop and food security, food safe for anyone and everyone, is thinking in large scale, thinking in a city, combining that food production with energy, mobility, sustainability, and also a collaborative consumption. It all evolves around the city. And the city is very important because it is within our reach, and it's the most sustainable way of growing our crop. Not by importing, not by thousands of kilometers of travel, and the city will actually create jobs and livelihoods. And then when it becomes all very interesting. And again, it's not futuristic. The technology is available. Everybody has access to it. We just need to go through certain steps. We compare the Netherlands, well, though many know the Netherlands is a small country, we compare it, and we like to compare it for a city. And the reason is this: because you see on the visual, you see so many greenhouses, so many lights. And if you imagine that all those greenhouses are powered and fueled by reused water, reused energy, re-engineered energy, to make the crop that profitable that is worthy to export. And the productions are over 20 to 25 times higher than open field. So you'll see the endless possibilities to develop to. And this journey elevates, elevates, and elevates. But the key is the art to start. Here's something that we love to show. It shows the actual sustainable urban delta. And the sustainable urban delta means basically that the food chain is located on cities' green belt or within cities, and 80% is supplied locally. And everything can be grown in greenhouses nowadays. Growing recipes and technology will enable that. So an end destination to have a full city growing its food and creating jobs and improving livelihoods is really, really possible. Here's an example of an urban area that connects a heating net line or a heating net with greenhouses. So every new urban area that is to be developed needs to bear in mind that it actually also, when it supplies energy, it also needs to synergize the city and the greenhouses. When the city and greenhouses are connected, the OPEX, the operational expenses of growing a profitable crop, will be significantly less. And then is what you there is what you get urban planning in place. Here is a beautiful example of how a Dutch urban area is connecting its heat net to a greenhouse. And it allows to connect to the greenhouse to be connected within a good range. It allows heat resources, cold resources within urban areas, and it creates endless possibilities. It is really the future as how we want to believe it, and we feel we owe this future to our many next generations to build this food chain around us. So yes, we're adapting change. We're embracing and prepping next generations, not particularly want to be associated with farmers or traditional farmers, but operators, growers, entrepreneurs that control a greenhouse with full tech and respect to the environment creates the highest revenue. We all have seen it, and also in new countries, in new industries, in new hubs, everything began from some point. And sooner or later, when energy is controlled, the control system are installed, data is enabling to do more, you can control your greenhouse while eating into a restaurant, it becomes a very nice job. You see nowadays in most urban areas where people love to grow rooftops, love to go indoor areas, because it's a very sustainable topic. And growing something that is pesticide free, that has traveled 0 kilometers, is very satisfactory to people. In the end destination, in the end of the summit, after we've climbed through all those stages, we are able to reach this also in Malaysia, where a city is fully interacting with each other, sharing resources, and growing its food within CEA, in greenhouses, indoor, and cooperating with nature. And there is where we give actually things back by technology to many future generations to come. And yet, that centuries of food chain we relied upon, that legacy will always be ensured if we work together and adapt by acting today. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope it was within the time frame. I'm really excited what's happening nowadays in Malaysia. I want to share this with you before I end the presentation for questions. A control system is affordable. Irrigation is affordable. What enables you today to do more is to get control through the cloud, through your own device or your own computer, your own iPad, and actually modify and control your greenhouse. This is enabling us to do and grow anywhere up to numerous points, and it's becoming now super interesting that we can control autonomously with AI-driven our food chain. And with that being said, all the best. We are, as Priva, fully dedicated to support Malaysian growers and Malaysian food businesses, and we have skin in the game to go from 0 to 1 together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Manuel Madani from Priva Horticulture, Netherlands. Thank you for your time. And for those viewers who are with us, Virtual Agro-Technology Extension 2021. For further information, you can also go to the meeting room virtually, and you can visit the booth of Priva, and you can get a lot of information from here, because it has been set up for the growers, and the sharing by Mr. Manuel, a breakthrough technology for next generation growers. And my beautiful Malaysians, it is what Mr. Manuel said, it's affordable. Because many of the growers tell, hey, high technology must be very expensive. But I believe he made it very clear. It is affordable. And best part is you can grow anything on earth with the technology available at this moment. There is one question, Mr. Manuel. The rest of the questions, I believe we would like to divert to the meeting room virtually. Question from Muhammad Nizam bin Malik. Are we at our optimum in big data management? That's a question, Mr. Manuel.
Very, very good question. I actually like it. At the moment, not. At the moment, we're developing data, we're assessing data. But very soon we will. In parallel, there's being put hard work to do that big data management. And as we look at the speed, we might reach it by, as in my slides, by 2023.
Thank you. There is a target, 2023. Encik Muhammad Nizam, thanks for the wonderful question. Mr. Manuel, Malaysia loves you. Malaysia would like to welcome you very soon after the pandemic over to come and visit our growers. Thank you once again to Priva Horticulture Netherlands. We wish you all the best, and we wish all the growers to stay tuned for the next topic. We are going to the seed technology from one of the market leader. Thank you again, Mr. Manuel. Stay tuned. We will catch up soon in the next session. Thank you.